Ladies and gentlemen, Galdem and Mondem. Wait a second, Galdem? Isn't that a horse with no nuts? Oh no, that's gelding. My mistake. Our man is finally back after confusing self-isolation with hibernation. That's why it's been 2 months instead of 2 weeks. So on a serious ting, here he is, Sauce Babie! Pick up yourself, my youth, more fire!
Got pulled over on the way here. Yeah, I appreciate you, brother. We're good to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All types of lights, camera, action. We back, episode 20. It's your boy, you know what I mean? Shouts to this amazing looking mic I got right here. Shouts to Sly Fox in the building. The UUI and Collective is always great for, letting us have the space. Sean Riches, it's like I said, it's amazing to be back. I'm just happy to have these mics. Everything's getting better and better. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm just in the creative juices are flowing. I'm in the zone right now, and speaking of flowing and beats and putting stuff together, our guy right now was creating some magic while he was here. I mean,
yeah. While I was waiting for you, I made like 2 beats.
yeah. Man, I made 2 beats while he was waiting. While man's got pulled over on the way, and I
feel bad for you, man.
Yeah, we good though.
$200 ticket, man. That's rough.
80.
Man.
They said I went 80 in the 60. Yeah, I got $265 ticket. But I mean,
that's them trying to collect what they because during COVID they didn't give out no tickets for. I think they were still maybe giving out for speeding, but certain parking tickets they weren't giving out, so they trying to make their money back. Like, and
she even told me, she's like, oh, you know what? It's just protocol. A lot of things have been going on in the area, and even what I thought too was, it crossed my mind because somebody said to me they're not supposed to physically touch your ID, right? And because she was very distant for even when she gave me the ticket, it was everything's different now. You know what I mean? These are the times we're in. But I mean, like I said, man, I have a student with me who was now went from a student to a coordinator in the remix project. If you know Manifesto,
I would say I'm always a student, man.
Always a student, right?
Always a student in the game, man. You're always learning, right?
If you know Manifesto, like I said, if you know Remix, if you know Battle of the Beat Makers, if you know King of the Dot, damn near have a legend in the city right here with me. And I mean, the accolades in themselves speak for themselves. We could go on and on. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not the announcer in the wrestling match that's here about to go, you know what I mean? But if you know this face beside me, you already know. I mean, if you're from the city, you'll know. If you know the comeback season, I mean, oh man, The Last Hope, my favorite joint that he produced on that. I mean, like I said, this man right here that we got right here, we got the kid. We got the rich kid with us, and I'm happy and grateful that you took the time. Like I said, you even made 2 beats while you was away. You know what I mean? Because most niggas would have been. Sly Fox actually told me, right? Sly Fox said, I'm gonna put you up. Sly goes, yo, fam, listen. He said, my humble. Shouts to Sly Fox. He goes, yo, fam, just gonna let you know this one thing, man. Back in the day, I don't know if it was a Manifesto or whatever. He goes, yo, rich kid's a man. He's not waiting. He's gone, man. So don't be late with your time. You know what I mean? So
I'm much more patient than I used to be.
He's much more patient. You know what I mean? But yo, my brother, like I said, Charlie, yo, appreciate you, man, for being here. Saucehavemercy, episode 20. We are live and direct. Let's go, folks. Come on.
Let's get it.
Who are you, bro? Where do I start? Who is Rich Kid? Mm-hmm. You're from Mississauga.
Yep.
But first off, let's just speak on you yourself coming up. Did your name derive from? Did it have anything to do with the career, or was this the block name, the neighborhood name?
It was a name I think I got it in high school because just everybody would call me Richie Rich and then call me Rich Kid.
See, you've been had the bag.
Nah, I was always broke. I was wearing the byway shoes and shit like that. But
you got a natural glow though. You got the natural.
Well, that's the thing. I knew how to put outfits together. I was always keeping it jiggy. But it was more so. It was just that was just the name for me. It was just Rich Kid. It had nothing to do with money. I didn't. If we're talking about hoods in the suburbs, my hood is Ridgeway. It's kind of like a low income, you know what I mean? Low income neighborhood, and
right.
It's just coming from that area. It's you're around a lot of immigrants. You come up poor, you shop at Byway. Byway was a store at the time before Winners. Before Winners took the crown of low tier clothing.
To this very day, I'm in Winners dripping. And niggas can't tell me nothing right
now.
now.
Yeah, when is up the level? Like they had like, I see like Gucci and fucking what is?
No, real talk. No, I've seen some, but like, it depends on the location.
Yeah, it depends on the location because they get the shit that's on clearance or whatever.
Like you go in a young downtown, they're serving that demographic. You won't see some drip. Like I just picked up a nice. Was it Spike Lee's brand 40 Acres?
Okay, yeah.
Took a nice hoodie from there the other day. I mean that's the slogan: name brand for less, right? So you know what I mean, you gotta make it work, man. You gotta make do with what little you have. But shouts to the Ridge, definitely, man. Shouts to Osh, PTICU, Chris Nice in the building who's on set.
So those are guys I grew up with. Like I moved there in '99. Like I lived in Mississauga most of my life. I was born in Toronto, born in Scarborough, and then moved back to Toronto like maybe around I was like 18, 19 to just pursue music and just get more into the scene, like just perform downtown, get to know more artists that I was seeing on YouTube, you know, like just put myself in the music scene and immerse myself in the music, right? But like, the name Rich Kid just came from high school, came from my niggas. Probably Osh or Chris that gave me the name. Like, you know, it was just a thing where, you know, it was just an easy thing to say.
How do you find you know, because before there are many comparisons with Saga and Toronto, but now it's like Saga is becoming very developed and like how like, because I would say that like people back in the day would be like, well, okay, I was gonna put Brampton in there, but you can't put Brampton. Saga's just, it was always more up to the time to me, but now it's like Saga's like literally like
we're really just talking shit. Like you know, we always talk shit and make fun of Brampton and shit like that. But what it really is just there's the metro city and then there's the burbs, right? And in every kind of like major city, you're gonna have a burbs that's like, you know, that has talent in it. Like, you know, you go to New York, it's just like you have like all those New York NYC like cats, and then you go to Yonkers, which is outside of New York, and you got the Locks. You feel what I'm saying? Or you got fucking, you know, fucking EPMD from Long Island or something like that. You know, just to name some old school rappers. There's new school rappers from outside, but like, you know, it's just like not every dope rapper that we love actually necessarily comes from the inner city. Some of them actually come from the burbs and shit. So it's kind of like, I think
Tory from Brampton, you got, you know,
right. So like for the new age, I think because we're, you know, it's always been said that because we're in the burbs, we have less shit to do, so we're working on our talent more or something like that. Maybe that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like the 905s, you know, they ain't shit out there, so we just work on beats and work on songwriting.
You gotta show up. You gotta show up.
I mean? But it's really like a thing where, you know, it's just there's talent from the city, there's talent outside the city. It's, you know, I think we make fun of it just because it's just that normal mentality of if you're from the streets or you're from the city or you're from this, then you're connected, you're bigger. When you're from the burbs, you're kind of outcast, you're softer. There's always that kind of mentality in it, but that shit easily is getting destroyed now because it's like talent comes from everywhere. The internet kind of like allowed people from every corner of the earth, from every place, in every kind of background of life, any walk of life, to kind of become a star. So
which leads me into one of the questions I was going to ask at some point. Does talent beat networking in this day and age?
Does talent beat networking? Networking isn't nothing you can necessarily rely on. You network for a purpose, right?
Right.
So the talent is what you have that's going to help you network.
Or I should have reworded to say who you know, in a sense. I mean, that's what I
like, because even if you have that talent, you're going to have to network. So there's no one or the other, right? It's just like you have that talent. If you're not the one networking, who's networking for you?
Right.
Who's putting your name out there? Who's connecting for you? There's going to be somebody, right? So if that's part of your team, I still call it you. So if you have the talent, you gotta network eventually.
You have to, right?
Right? Like there ain't no one or the other. Like,
and there's a lot of those.
But I know what you mean. Like there's those guys that know how to network and know how to, like, they might not necessarily be dope artists,
right?
But they know how to make connections, right?
Yes.
And we see a lot of those artists. You know, we're not gonna name them here because we don't. I'll start no problem. But you know, it's like, you know, it's just like you could tell, like they have the money for the features. They, you know, they're like they use other things to help them in rap world to like get them further and shit like that. But at the end of the day, we kind of see it. Like, do they really get that big, or do they just appear big because their videos get a lot of hits? What tours are they on? Like, what are where are their fans?
Right.
Who's
their core fan base.
Who's saying, like, who's passing the aux and saying, yo, like, I'm bumping this guy right now? Like, if it's not happening like that, then really it's like it doesn't matter. Like, talent is still gonna shine through regardless, right?
Right.
No matter how much you network.
More so than who you know or who your features are, your network as a whole, right?
Right. It's still going to be talent. And, talent is subjective, right? Everybody has their own view of what talent is, what they view as who the best rapper is, or who's the best singer, or
from a lyrical
who's the best rapper, lyrical, or just even like just flow wise, vibe wise,
bar for bar.
So it just depends on your fan base,
Right. How's the Toronto scene emerged, or how would you say? Sorry, it is now compared to when you first entered.
In terms of industry, there's a lot more confidence from outside in the music scene. It's weird. Like, it's not confidence from the labels, but confidence from like people, right? Mm-hmm. But it's weirdly like confidence in a certain type of rap where it's like, I don't know if it's going to bust people. Like, gangster shit, like, I love it. I love listening to it. But I don't know if niggas is going to bust with that drill shit just because niggas use it as, like, real war music nowadays. Like, niggas be talking about other niggas' blocks on it and then get stained. And then it's like...
Yeah.
We already seen it. Like, we've seen two popular guys in the last 3 years disappear. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Two, like, very, like, popular rappers from
Real
two
talks.
ends. And, I mean, it's just, it's sad. It's sad. It's sad that this shit has to continue happening. And it's going to happen more because that's the thing to do now, like, to get rid of. Like, niggas could, like, they could stay in one of your minds, but, like, if they stay in the top guy, it just means more. It says something.
Yeah. The prize possession.
So it's like, we have these gangster rappers, but they can't even stay in our city because they'll die in our city. And it's like, but then, do they have credit now? Oh, you can't even go back to your hood. It's just like, if I go back to my hood, I die. Like, what do you want from me? You know what I mean? So I understand it. Yeah. And it's like, you make the music you make. I'm not even saying niggas should stop making that music. It's just like, I don't, it's hard to see how it's going to prosper.
And it's also, I feel like, is if you've left or you are, you're making it out, or you somehow, made a name for yourself and didn't have to go back to the life that you suffered, you should kind of set an example as an artist, right?
Oh yeah, of course. I think, by default, as an artist, you just set an example. If you're a popular artist, people are going to follow you in whatever kind of way you do things. Right. Some people won't, but they're not fans, right? When we're talking about your fans are going to follow what you do. They usually have the same viewpoints as you, the same kind of ideals, or they change your ideals to match yours because they admire you so much, right? Yeah. So, as an artist with a voice and views and buzz, like, you're always going to be an influence of somebody. You're always going to have that power to control shit.
Speaking of which, influences and examples, who are some artists that you as a young creative looked up to coming up in the scene? I mean, there's Big Socks. Like, there's a lot of guys.
Yeah. Socrates, Cardinal.
Played a role in Rich's career.
Chaos. Yeah. Like, a lot of the old school guys that I worked
Shouts to Chaos. Where is that guy, man?
Chaos, he's
cooling right now somewhere.
He's making music. He's making more alternative music right now. Okay, but he's still doing this shit. He's just on the low key.
Yeah.
But it was those guys, the guys that I eventually worked with that kind of inspired me. Even Maestro Fresh West, you know what I mean? Like, even though I was like young when he was like coming up, like, there was a song he had back in the day, like, and I think it was like a song where it was like deep in his career. It was like where he sampled These Eyes, Stick to Your Vision.
Right, yes.
And that was like one of the first songs I heard, like, on Much Music and shit like that. And I was like, yo, I fuck with this shit. Like, and I didn't even know it was Canadian at first, you know what I mean? I just fucked with the sample. I heard the sample before, so I was just like, yo, the way this guy flipped it is sick.
For real, for
the guy,
real.
what he's speaking on is dope. And then to find out he's Canadian and to even, you know, meet him and him fucking like fan over me, I'm just like, yo, bro, you're the fucking godfather. So
that man,
you know, so
cardio, chocolate, that whole
right, like,
you know what I mean?
so all those guys, and then you know, like even like the ghetto concepts, the jelly stones. The fucking even up to like, you know, into the 2000s, then like late 90s and 2000s, like, you know, I listen to guys like Sam G and Heartless G and shit like that. Fucking, you know, the Toronto street rap at that time. Sonny Clay. There was a couple niggas out there.
Now, natural born strangers. Naturally born strangers. Okay? Shouts to Tona. Shouts to, you know, for sure, man, the East Side, you know what I mean, the Lee Mandem. Yeah. Shouts to one of the two of my favorite white boy rappers, hands down, in the city. And anybody knows me that knows can attest to this.
I love how people say like he's their favorite white boy rapper.
And
like
second,
they have to make the distinction, you know.
I'm not putting anybody in front of him, but for me it was Turk and Adam. You know what I mean? And
I do feel like white rap is kind of like a genre in itself.
Right.
Because it's like, yeah, it's just like, you know, there's only certain things like I feel like white rappers can connect to black people about. Right. And then there's certain things it's just like, yeah, it's lost upon us. So it's kind of like a genre in itself. Like every time there's a white rapper, you're going to compare it to Eminem. Right. Eminem is like the basic standard of, is he like, he's the middle? Yeah. Or actually, I don't know. He might be like the far right. So like the far right being super duper lyrical. Yeah. And then you're going all the way down to, I don't know, Paul Wall. Yeah. Or something like that. Paul Wall might be the other side of the spectrum. I don't know. Who's a white rapper that like is totally like non-lyrical? I don't know. Right. Whoever that is, you know what I mean? It's just a spectrum, and it's just like, oh yeah, he's trying to be Eminem, like MGK. Right, you know, right. We compare him to Eminem. Fucking Mac Miller, we compare him. Everybody compare him to Eminem.
I don't remember the year, but I remember I was with Trey, and it was y'all, and I think Preem were all in the same nomination. I'm trying to find it here on my it might have been for the Junos. So you guys, it was you, Preem, and I think Trey were all nominated for Best Rap Album. Yeah. Right. So that's when, because I've been hearing, like, you know, from maybe a year before that when I was first introduced or to know about Naturally Born Strangers. Okay. But that's when I saw you guys first together, you know, as a group. And, you know, it just started like, you know, growing on me and seeing what was going on. But since those times, or when was the last, like, you know, like project you guys put together, and what's the status of the group?
That was the last project.
Oh, that was from those times.
Yeah. So we dropped that project 2013, end of 2013, November. Right.
Yeah. And how did you guys come about? Like, what was made you guys, you know?
Brian Espiritu, who runs this clothing line called The Legends League. Right.
Yeah, shout out to the Legends League,
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. He hit me up. Had an idea to do a mixtape. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. And I sent him a whole bunch of beats, and he picked out the beats that he liked from it. And he was telling me the vibe of what he wants the tape to be. He told me he like wants to call it after his line. Like, you know, Legends League has different like capsule, you know, projects that they drop, and Naturally Born Strangers was one of them, right? Okay. And they had this whole vibe about, you know, being stranger than the rest and being like a stranger to the people, like, you know, kind of like being anonymous, you know, that kind of vibe. And that's what we wanted to do. So it's like we didn't even put our names on it. Well, like
as when we different individuals.
Yeah, it was kind of like, you know what I mean? This was just what it was, but we are 3 different solo artists. Yeah. So, but yeah, originally it was just going to be me. And then I told them like, yo, let's pull in Tona and Bomb, because I had already worked with them on some of my mixtapes around that time. Worked on some of their projects. I had worked with Empire before. I worked with Tona on his own project. So I already, like, they were my favorite rappers. They are still my favorite rappers. So I told them like, yo, you want to jump on this? They're like, yeah, because they already fuck with Brian on their own.
Right.
So everybody knew each other. That was a great thing about it. Everybody kind of knew each other, and everybody fucked with each other's talent, and everybody was cool as fuck.
Relationship?
And we all drank Jameson. So
Right.
that's what, you know, created that bond. And then it was just every Wednesday at Remix at the studio, just recording songs and formulating a project, and that's what it turned into.
Yeah. It was 2015. I just saw the footage.
Yeah,
that was
20.
dope,
Like, that's the thing. We won the award in 2015 because we submitted it for the 2014 Junos, where you get it in 2015.
Right. Yeah.
So, but it came out after the deadline for the 2014 one.
I remember that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why it seems like it skipped a year. But throughout those 2 years, we were releasing stuff for that project and doing shows. And
Yeah, see that footage there? That was those times, right? Yeah. You had to go back. Shouts to Tona, man. Shouts to Ada, like I said, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys. So, but you guys are still good. You still work together and whatnot, right? But
who, me, Tona, and Bum?
yeah.
No, we haven't made a track in a while, but.
But you'd come back and do something?
No, we was together the other day, just smoking,
drinking Jameson.
No.
Jameson.
I'm not on Jameson anymore. Still,
Yeah.
I left Jameson.
You're on the health tip right now because I haven't seen you go. You've been going steady, man. You lost a lot of weight too, right, man? Congrats on that journey
Thank
too,
you,
man.
bro.
You've been
Thank
motivated. We share one of the same clubs, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
a mutual friend of ours. And
Yeah.
How much weight did you lose?
Shit, like close damn near 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Felt I had
You
to,
was
but
fat. Like, no offense, but I'm fat.
No. I was fat. Like, nigga, I was fat. Like, it's when you try to tie your shoelaces and you have trouble breathing, that's how you know you're getting fat. You're just like, oh.
Because you
have to take breaks like you're trying to do the money ears. You're just like, okay, the other side now.
No, but definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. So,
but even before the boxing, you were doing well, and then like.
Well, yeah, I was just trying to do the gym shit, go outside, do shit, ride bike, just all that kind of like fitness type shit, and just challenge myself, right? Like I challenge myself with making beats, and
repetition.
I feel I don't set like goals to be like rich, so like that's why I've always wanted to be real. I always wanted to change my name from Rich Kid just about to Richie because. I think I gave the impression like I was all about money, and I'm like the last nigga about money. Like, yeah, I've invested my money a little bit right, but I fucked up my money for a lot of time. I just spend shit. I don't really care about money. I don't care about looking rich. I don't care about any of that shit. So. And everybody that kind of, because there's been other rich kids. There's Rich the Kid. There was a rich kid from Miami who changed his name to Nino Brown. Yeah. There's DJ Rich Kid. There's a whole bunch of rich kids. But like, and actually DJ Rich Kid's just, he's kind of like me. He's not about the money. He's not about like the money tip. But like most of those niggas are about the money tip and flossing, and I'm not really about that. So I've always said like, yo, I need to change it, but I've always been so lazy. And I just want to I just want to do things my way. And I do things my way, and I have fun doing them. So every project that I've dropped, whether it's got nominated or whether it's won or whether... it's always been things I wanted to do and feel like I accomplished something in it. I told myself after I lost a Juno twice, I'm like, yo, I actually want to get a Juno this time. I got it. You know what I mean? So I was like, with rap, okay, I'm satisfied. I don't really care about, like, if I drop something, it's just because I care about rapping, right? Like with beats, I wanted to work with some of my idols, you know what I mean? Working with Redman, working with, some of like the rappers I grew up watching as like a little kid, like, I just wanted to have those moments, but then, figuring out like some of them are assholes, it made me slow down. I was just like, all right, I'm gonna come back to this when I feel like it. I'm gonna do something else. So I just always like doing other things, always around the world of music, because I'm always gonna be active, I'm always gonna be rapping, always making beats, always songwriting, always helping people create their shit, and making my royalties.
Music
and
will
getting
always
that.
play a part of it while you're in the gym, wherever you are.
But like I may not just be just doing beats one time. It just may not be rapping one time. Like I'm not too focused like that. I want to do everything. Yeah. Why not? Life's too short to just be doing one thing.
You went from the fades to the braids too. But you've had a braids for a minute now.
I had the braids for a minute now. It's just different braid styles now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there was a period with the fro, the fucking the wacky fro, rich kid.
Yeah, you went through that era. Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's been a lot of eras of rich kid.
So you saying you plan on growing it out? You're just keeping it right now. That's the look right now we're going with right now.
Nah, I'm gonna shave it off eventually.
Yeah.
Bald rich kid.
You going back? You're taking it back?
I might tattoo the top of my head too. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Go Birdman.
Like UFC.
Go
You're taking the boxing to a next level right now.
I'm gonna go Birdman.
You turn a fighter on us right now.
Hey man, I just might.
Now, okay, there's a large number of artists we've seen from the city that have taken their talent to the UK, to the US.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've traveled a lot. You've been to LA. How do you feel, even growing up and you just being here? Like, you feel that you made the right decision, in staying here? Because obviously, the industry here as a whole the eyes are on us too, right?
Yeah. That's the thing. I didn't stay here. I did travel. You know what I mean? I did work, and understanding that it's like it helped me understand what the nature of the business is, right? So when you don't feel like for me, I just felt like with the business and competing in the game over there, I wasn't aiming to be a superstar. So it's kind of like what I wanted to do there was just work and kind of like build connections with other artists down there so it can create more opportunities in the future for me to whatever I want to do. Right. Whether I want to produce out there, songwrite out there, fucking direct out there, do whatever I want to do because I know more people, right? It's just been about knowing more people and kind of connecting them, let them know what my talent is. They let me know what their talent is, and we share that. So, I've always gone places. The thing is, it's like most of my rap releases or stuff I did with rap and shit have been here, but I've traveled and performed in other places, done the festival routes and shit like that, jumped on tours. So, it's just, the nature of that game is different. Like, you just gotta have people believing in you. If you want to do the label side, you gotta have people believing in you on the label side over there to necessarily take you from one spot to the next where you have more opportunities to have your shit out there. And just seeing how Drake really did it, because I was there around the times when Hove wanted to sign him, and he was getting all these contracts and shit. I understood what it took, and it took a lot. I wasn't at that time. I was just like, I'm not trying to be what I knew what he was trying to be. He told me what he was trying to be, so I was like, I'm not trying to be that. I'm just trying to make great music and rock the crowd and fucking be in front of thousands of people. And I did that. I was just like, that's what it is for me. I never get discouraged because I was always like, I rock the crowd 1 or 100. That's my thing.
Speaking of Hove, Rock Nation, JLEC, so congrats on that placement, right? We see, but that's been going on. You knew about that for years, but that's what I want to get into. How'd you come across JLEC, or how'd he come across you? How did the relationship sprout? Electronica.
My boy Manish, he knows Jay. I think he gave him my beat when I opened up for JLEC for Manifesto in 2010, I believe. So it's been a decade now. Holy fuck, I'm old. So yeah, I opened up for him at Manifesto at, I think it was Dundas Square. My man gave him the beat. He had come back for a show at Canadian Music Week. That's when I met him. Told me that I gotta join on his record. And yeah. And then he announced it on stage, which was pretty cool. And
then he just dropped the album to 10 years later, 10 years later.
Yeah. And but that's the thing. They didn't really drop it to drop it. It's a leak. Apparently some hackers try to extort him or something like that. They try to say yo, we'll drop it unless you give us 15 grand, and then he dropped it or whatever. So, really right now they're in, all the producers on it are obviously hitting them up for, what's going on, what's the compensation going to be, because it was going to stay in limbo. It wasn't going to come out.
Manifesto, how important is Manifesto to our city? And I mean, like, it's tough with, all the COVID stuff going on in events, and you know what I mean? But like, that's obviously played a major role in your career. Like, what does Manifesto mean to you? And like, what can you speak on that?
Manifesto is dope. I've done a lot of their workshops. I performed at a lot of their shows. They put me on a lot of their shows.
Showcase.
Yeah. When I could say when it was ran right, it was like the best thing to happen to the city. I think even at its, like, maybe you could say its perceived low points, it's still been beneficial to the city. But
right.
I think at its highest point, it really put on independent artists. And there was
the city.
You know what I mean, from the city, and really put them on a big stage. I feel like there was a 1 year, it felt like more commercial. It was like at Echo Beach, I think, and I think Isaiah Rashad was performing, and a whole bunch of other people were performing. It was more established artists. It felt like a concert. It was Manifesto was a concert, but I understand how it is. Like, it's a festival that relies on funding every single year, right?
Right.
So
yeah, of course,
it's they can't just like anybody. It's like when the money starts running out and you don't know where to get money from because of whatever circumstance.
Right.
It's hard to keep up that same quality. So you have to.
You could imagine now.
Right. So but Manifesto, what it was for me, definitely back in the day was definitely influential and helped me out a lot in terms of
had a good role in your
how the city sees me and respects me, because they let me rock on stages.
You've been a face of them for a minute now.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm.
I remember seeing you on the flyers. When we Sly Fox shot for you a couple of times, and in
terms of like when I was headlining it, like with Sock, when me and Socks headlined it for the J Electric shit, definitely, they put my face on that shit. But as the years gone by, they put on like younger artists that that came and did some shit in the city and just crushed it. So that's what Manifesto was supposed to do. Always help the next generation.
Right? Yes.
I've you past my time headlining it. Like, I snuck on stage a couple times. You know what I mean? Somehow I get on stage, like Exile from Blue and Exile. I know him from like doing the festivals, and he just hit me. He's like, "Yo, Blue couldn't make it. You want to come freestyle on stage?" And then I just freestyle on stage, and sometimes I don't get paid for that, but I just do it for the love,
Yeah. So getting back, you just mentioned the next generation, right? You mentioned even with and helping the next generation.
Yeah.
From my, if my memory serves me correct, because I remember applying for Remix. They were, I don't know if things are the same. They were always
you didn't get
helping. It? No, man. I forgot what But they said there was something to do with the age too at that point.
Yeah.
I think
you're too
getting
old?
Yeah, right. I think at that time I don't even want to.
Yo, bro.
Can't be saying my age.
There'd be some niggas that be trying to come into a program older than me. I'm like,
you're like, what are you doing right now?
Fam,
you're not a youth, man. You're not a my
how am I supposed to mentor you, bro? You're supposed to mentor me. You're supposed to be telling me. You're supposed to be telling me to stay out of trouble. You know what I mean? Like,
your shouts to Ricky too, man.
Shout out, broski Ricky, man. Like he was in the first round of Remix with me, and he's the one that hit me up after I was like done touring and just not really rapping as much. He was just like, "Yo, you want to come through work at Remix?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" You know what I mean? It's working in the studio,
right?
It's my life. It's my life already. You know what I mean? So I just got my studio in the West. I got my studio in the East, and I just go back and forth. But it's great to work with young up and coming talent that they're looking for ways to develop, right? By just meeting new people, and I'm the connector, right? I pick the people that are in the program, and if certain people need like a certain kind of producer, they could find that. If they need a photographer, they could find that. If they need a videographer, a
very
DJ,
resourceful,
a manager, all those kind of things that you need to assemble for your team as an artist, it's there. And now to see how some of them have come out and done their shit, and like have hit me back and be like, yo, you was right, like I got my team, and it's remix people. It's like we're doing this, we're doing that. So
it's great that you're a teacher to students as you once were a student. Like you said, you still are a student, right?
Well, yeah, I'm still a student, but that's one thing I learned through just going through remix, because it was the same with me.
Right, the learning curve. Yeah, my
team was remix.
You're right.
Like it was all guys that went to remix, or guys that I knew from before. I'm like, yo, come through remix. Like I'll get you, you know what I mean? Like this when I was younger, I'll just come through it. Like they'll take you in, you're talented, whatever. They took them in and they learned tricks of the trade and expanded their network of people, and then it just created this, this
ambiance.
And
I always remember them gearing to
I would say even like just a legion. A legion of just like
when you think about a lot of people that came from there. And I always remember them gearing towards.
But even if you didn't get in, it doesn't mean that you're not.
You're still somebody get me a napkin.
You're still good. Look at you. Look at you now. Look at you now. That's why, for a lot of guys, he better not get mad at this, because he better not get mad. Like I remember Jazz Cartier. We had a talk one time, and he was just like, I remember, I tried to come to Remix one time, and They didn't let me in because they said I was overqualified, I had the links. I'm like, bro, look at you, you be doing big shows, bro. Look at you now, sometimes it's it's for, come on, it's 15 spots. What Remix was built on. At least when I was young, I had charges on me. I didn't. Even though I was from the burbs or whatever, they still took me in because I went to the Etobicoke program. That was before, that became before Remix. And, they signed my fucking probation hours and shit like that. And, they helped a lot of guys like that. Remix, it may not be like that as much now. We're just helping talented artists that just want to get to the next level. But it started as helping certain talented youth from the hood or certain situations bring out their creativity. Because at that time, there was no industry, right? There was no eye on Toronto, because Cardinal was doing his thing kind of separate, really. He was big, but he was more just big off the Akon single, right? So it was he had love, but it wasn't just enough to make the biggest translation for the Toronto culture. Drake came in and then, had a lot more bigger singles in America that carried on to a long-standing career in him putting on different artists and producers from the city. And then the city now feeling more confident in putting out their own and embracing their own. Because, I always say, around 2015, 2016, that streaming era where Drake is now playing some of these Toronto artists and really exposing them, Smoke Dawg Trap House. I feel that was one of those Toronto tunes that a lot of young people embraced and brought the numbers up on streaming, and that's what made people money. It actually was making some kind of monetary
open the doors
value for niggas, right? So with that being said, it's just it's all the different eras kind of have their different kind of ways of dropping music, and Drake was that kind of transition into the new era of quickly processing music, quickly downloading music, and then streaming.
I find he always taps in because he has to stay relevant, right? Of course. So that's definitely it, man. And I mean, I always remember Remix kind of gearing towards, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, the lower income neighborhoods. So being an applicant, that was something they looked for at the time, right? And it's something that crossed my mind too. Jessie Reyes, she's a student, right?
Yeah.
Alumni from there.
Yeah.
I used to hear she used to be in the corner. She was one of them with the guitars cross the legs. Looking like she was one of those students just right in the corner that you would see just doing her thing. And now look at her now, like what we said, right?
Yeah,
so
she's
no,
dope.
it's definitely
She's dope. She's killing it.
You know, Filthy City, Kim's Convenience, right? You appeared in.
I wasn't in Kim's Convenience. I had music in there.
Yeah.
It was just it was something from my album, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
We seen you in some movies next, or what's going on, man?
Shit, man. I just get roles here and there because I know a couple people and they hit me up and they're like, "Yo."
Oh, it's like that.
It's really
it's
that.
Like you say. You got agents now,
I don't really audition.
Yeah.
And if I do audition, it's just because my homie is like, "Yo, come in and audition for this role." So
y'all have to pay Rich for a walkthrough just now, man. Something slide off the dribble. You know what I mean?
Don't kill me.
This nigga showing up in gyms and his own time. But
honestly, I like acting. I like directing. I've directed a short film.
Oh yeah.
I've directed my own videos. I like taking that behind the scenes aspect of it, and the more I could do of it, the better. But it's just I when I did my short film, I'm like, okay, I made a movie, even though it's not like a motion picture. Like it was a short film that I created actually when I was in Remix, and I wrote it and brought it to Temple Street Productions, and we ended up. Long story short, I ended up getting $45,000 to shoot the film, and I hired some of my homies to play actors in it. Like my cousin plays himself in it. My homie Shamari Downer, who's a dope actor. He was in this movie, the last movie that I posted, Aquila's Escape.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so he was in there with me. So. It was a lot of guys that are my friends now. You know what I mean? I was just able to like connect with them back then and just put them in my movie. And I was just like, wow, I get to see how it actually works. How like time is money. Like you can't spend too much time shooting one scene. Like I was trying to get certain scenes right there. Like my AD's like, yo, we're wasting money. You have to go. Okay, boom. And like had to change certain things in the script as we went along because we didn't have enough time to do it. Like we only had the set guys, like it was a real set. Like I had to do it like so. It was called Trespassing. I had to do with the drug trade. So we actually got like a fucking Bucket's crib in Bleecker.
Oh shoot!
Like we took over a Bucket's crib in Bleecker.
Yeah, right.
Paid them to use a spot.
Yeah.
And it's just like the way we had shit set up. We had a light going into it was dope. It was a dope experience.
Where can we see this? Where can man see this? Catch this joint right now. You on Netflix, Rich?
You know what? Like I still have it. It's just in the vaults. Like I dropped it. We dropped it at TIFF TIFF Lightbox.
I was gonna ask that.
Bell Lightbox or whatever it's called. Yeah. When we did the presentation for it and we put it in a couple of festivals and stuff like that. But yeah, I haven't really, and it was on. I think it was on either CBC or Global a couple times. But yeah, I might put it out. I don't know. I just gotta find the right time.
This guy got stuff in the vault right now, low key. Yeah. So you're saying if you were an artist, you'd be Rich Tarantino. You'd be a director.
I feel like I can do anything. Like I can't. I'm not gonna say I can do anything the best. Like I feel like I'm really a jack of all trades. I like dipping my foot in a lot of different things and exercising my or even just challenging myself to like really immerse myself in it. Like I love like artistic stuff, right? Like not like I'm not gonna be studying biology and fucking all that rest of shit. Like I'm in terms of arts and in terms of all fields, whether it's drawing or fucking shooting shit or like creating music, whatever it is. Like I always want to try my hand in it.
Are there any artists or talents in particular that you wanted to emulate?
artists I want to emulate.
Yeah, or like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes like a man like me, I be looking at myself in the mirror thinking that I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I be thinking like I went from niggas saying I was Butterbean to damn near, man.
Butterbean,
like Shamar Moore, Young and the Restless in his prime.
You say Butterbean the boxer?
But I mean, yeah, you know, sometimes niggas be,
a nigga white. Why would they call you Butterbean?
You don't remember Butterbean, the fat white
guy?
Yeah.
He white. Why would they call you Butterbean?
Tease me and say, you know what I mean? But now they see me boxing now. They see me and they say, okay, you start.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But
okay, now I thought you meant back then in the day.
Yeah. But I mean.
That's good. You losing weight, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, shouts to my guy again, Echelon Designs. I'm gonna need a large next time though.
Hey.
I'm gonna need a large, man. Shout to the design, looking real neat. I got the XL at the time, but we working, man. We working over there, man. We getting it. We working at the undisclosed location. You know what I mean? Right. We getting that working, man. Shouts to Bleak, the wave check. I see him, man. I see you, Bleak, man.
Body by Bleak.
Body by Bleak. Picking up some tutorials. Right. Going soon have to get wave check by Bleak, man. That nigga, him too. Like a lot of people.
Do-Rag Dynasty.
Yeah, and it's great to see, like you said, in anything with music, with whatever, like your workout stuff, whatever. It's just like they say, repetition is the mother of skill. You got to just. You know what I mean? Turn these into habits.
What did Marshawn Lynch say? You got to do it over and over again and over again and over. Like, you know, it's just... That's how being great at something works.
I think Questlove said one time, he quoted something that Hove said about doing something a certain amount of times. I don't remember the exact number until you got. I mean, there's different methods.
Yeah, you can go to like the what they say, outliers, 10,000 hours.
Yeah. To
become a master, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like you never really fully become a master at something. Like, what is it? Like, I guess. Certain things have their their qualifications in academia to let you know you're a master or you get your masters or whatever. But in music, it's just I bet at some point maybe Timbaland felt like he was the master of his craft, and he is still, no doubt. But as the times changed, now he's not the
Mike Wills. You got the little guys.
Yeah, he's not the most important producer. He's still out there. He's still producing certain things, but he's not the number one hit producer. So now he has to go back and learn new things. Right. He has to change his bop to a certain way to kind of fix himself with this wave, right? So, he probably feels like, okay, I was a master of that era. I'm still a master, but I have to master this era, right? So you're gonna have to continue trying to master.
Yeah.
Your
same with Dre, same with everybody.
Talent.
That's right. Yeah. Right. Speaking of Dre, actually, leads me to thinking now. I think Kendrick. I think how I know the answer to this, but a good friend of mine that knows you as well said that something they wanted me to ask you, but to see was how did how did the relationship with Kendrick come about, and where did you first meet Kendrick? There's somebody obviously a part of Top Dawg that's a good friend of yours to this day, right?
Who, Kendrick?
No, I said there's somebody in Top Dawg.
Oh, someone.
That's your friend. Speak on that.
Yeah. Like I'm cool with J-Rock. J-Rock is.
It's so nonchalant. I'm just cool with J-Rock, So
no. J-Rock. I met him. Yeah. I just met him when I because originally, I keep on forgetting what happened first. Whether we did the Kendrick show, Kendrick's first show with Remixproject at Rebel. But back when it was called Sound Academy, I don't know. I don't remember if that happened first, or I went to LA first and then met J-Rock. Right. But whichever way it happened, because J-Rock was also on that show and whatever. Yes, J-Rock, but I don't think even J-Rock came. He had charges. Certain people can't come. I think Schoolboy couldn't come because he had charges. Right. I think only Ab-Soul came.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. But anyways. Yeah, what I was saying. I don't know which one came first, but either way, I met J-Rock in LA, and he had, I guess my music had been passed on to Dave Free, and he fucked with it, and he was just like, yo, why don't you just come through, play rock some beats, and we went through to this fucking cul-de-sac, looked like fucking Next Friday and shit. Thought Joker was gonna hop out with the fucking Vatos dances and shit.
Devo was not about to pull up and take your Snickers.
You know what I mean, baby D.
Devo was gonna come take your Snickers.
Right. Not even that one. That was like the like next Friday, not Friday, next Friday.
And then it was
like
the Friday after next.
That little cul-de-sac, like it felt like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just different. Like it was a hood, but like it's just like a nice hood. Like it's just like, you know, it was just nice. I think we were in Carson, and some big nigga comes to the van, and he's just like, yo, who that? And then my man is sitting in the front. He's just like, my name's Brendan, here to see Dave. He's like, who? And he's just like, we're here with Rich Kid. He's like, oh, Rich Kid? All right, pull over there. And then go pull around this house, go inside, you know what I mean? J-Rock's there, show him mad love. We play some beats, we just smoke, we're drinking, and just, you know, we're just vibing. Like, he watched my videos, tell him I'm loving something, like, because I was a fan of his shit, just because I heard, the first song I heard from him was that song he had with Weezy, then Will.i.am and shit. And I was just like,
that's
oh,
original Top Dawg right there.
Yeah, like, he's the first artist, right. You know what I mean? So,
right.
It was really him, so... since then we just been, you know, every time I go out to LA, like every other time I probably see him, and you know, he comes by the studio, or if he's out here, you know, I go by a show, and you know, we just smoke, you know, playing.
Then they got
beats.
SZA now. Look at SZA, man, too. Like,
yeah, SZA's dope.
Even Isaiah Rashad.
Yeah, Zay's good peoples too.
He's still on the team too.
Yeah. Zay's good people. So like, yeah, with Kendrick, it was just, you know, I've opened up for him a lot of times, and you know, we've talked a couple times. He's jumped on a couple beats that probably will never come out, you know, because TD always keeps things on lock. Even me and J-Rock, we have probably we have an album. Yeah. Half of that shit ain't gonna come out, or most of that shit ain't gonna come out, because they just, if certain time period goes by, it's just. But you may have they're said on a different vibe, so they're just.
But look at it now. That you probably said that at the time with J-Elec, and look now. So you never know. Like,
yeah, but I don't really like the way the J-Elec shit came out. So you know, it's, you know, I'm not. It's not like I'm looking forward to leaks. Like, leaks aren't like cool. People get to hear the music, but they don't get to hear it in its like. Yeah. In its best quality form, so it doesn't make my shit look good.
Speak of beats. How you started producing, and what came first, the rapping or the beats?
Rapping.
Okay, so the rapping came first, and then beats was just like.
Yeah, I needed something to rap on.
Right. Yeah.
Simple as that. And like, I was rapping on industry beats, like how like 50 was doing that shit.
Right.
You know, that's another inspiration.
It's so
like
crazy.
50 was like everybody's inspiration to like just hop on other people's beats and dirty it up, like, you know, doing your own version, you know.
But it's crazy because even that now is still relevant in a sense. Look at Shmurda with the hot nigga on the Banks beat, you know what I mean?
But he didn't. That wasn't even intended to like be
go the way that it went.
That wasn't even. He didn't even do it as a dub. He did it as an original track, and then I don't think he cared if Lloyd Banks had it. I think it was said that Lloyd Banks didn't pay for it or something like that. I think, what Jaleel Beats said, or Jungle Beats, whatever you want to call it.
Jungle Beats.
Jungle Beats. It's jungle. It sounds like, doesn't it? Like, how does it sound like?
Like a jungle, where Jungle Gym meets.
I swear to God, it sounds like Southern Jungle Beats. It sounds like Jungle Beats. But I think Jaleel Beats said Lloyd Banks didn't even pay for it, because I think it was on a Lloyd Banks mixtape or something. I don't know if it was on the album.
Oh, the same. The one that hot nigga.
The hot nigga.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I could be mistaken if I'm lying or I'm mistaken. Sorry.
Right.
But I already know, like, the way he went in on it. He meant it for it to be his track. Like, he knew it was.
Who are your favorite producers right now?
My
if you were to take one from the city and one from cross seas, like.
One from the city.
Or even
man. There's a lot, man.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough to put in here. Okay, let me give you the top 5. Like the original. Like, I don't know if you put Kiss in there. I know you're like, who's your top 5 dead or alive?
Rapper? Or like, what do you mean?
Yeah, we'll say rap. Because producer, I wouldn't, that's...
I could name producers.
You could go
too.
producer out too? Okay, just let him have it. Let me give...
All right, so for...
Saucehavemercy, we need both right now.
For producer, and this is like, it's it changes.
To 3
it changes from time to time, actually.
Right.
But for my producers, it's Kanye, it's Just Blaze, it's Premier, it's Dre, and it's RZA. Those are my top 5.
Shout to RZA.
And then, honorable mention to Timbo and Neptunes.
Definitely.
And I say it changes because sometimes Neptunes slide in there. But I think because of the verses, it just made me remind me what I love the most. Right? Like, I love that Wu-Tang shit. So when I told everybody, like, yo, I think Premier is gonna beat RZA, when the battle happened, I was just like, wow, I'm not getting tired of all this Wu-Tang shit. This is some of the best shit ever created. Fuck, sorry, Premier. Going to RZA, like, you know what I mean? So you crept back into my 5. Yeah. Like, it just, rotates.
Speaking of...
And then rappers, Hove, Push.
Yes.
What's it called? Hove, Push. It was like, it's hard because it's like, it's one of those ones where like Push is, a lot of it is part of clips, right? So it's like, he might not count, like just kind of like how I don't let people say Andre 3 Stacks, just because most of his shit was with Outkast. But if we can do that, then Push is in there.
Jeez. For real, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you.
I'm gonna put K-Dot in there. Just because I seen it up front.
3 Stacks had some joints on his own, but you're right. A lot of his slappers.
Yeah, a lot of his best things, memorable
shit.
shit is definitely on Outkast shit.
Yeah.
K-Dot is 3rd.
For sure.
Biggie.
Yeah.
Last one's so hard.
Last one's hard. You ain't got Nas in there?
No, Nas. Like, I like Nas. But he's not in my top 5.
Not in the top 5.
But I really like his new album. Really like it.
Got one more, man. You got one more.
I don't know, man. It's hard because you just don't want to say a name. And then, I guess Ghost, man. Ghostface. Might have to be Ghostface.
Yeah. Okay, that's a pretty neat top 5. That's,
Supreme Clientele.
Right. Oh my God.
Fucking Fish Scale. Fucking
days,
Pretty
man.
Tony album. Fucking Big Doe Rehab. A lot of those albums are like, I always listen to it. I listen to Supreme Clientele when I work out. Like, that's my...
You fucks with Cool G?
Cool G rap, yeah.
That's
a lot of people
right
said...
there, man. That's my guy.
Like, back then when I was rapping, a lot of people said, like, I have that kind of like flow because of our lisp.
Right, yeah.
We have the same lisp.
Right.
When we rap. But yeah, no. He's a legend. Mafioso king.
Yeah, Mafioso king, definitely, man. Even within the speech, the baritone type of that deep kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and just his syllable rhyme flow. He had that syllable kind of rhyme. I think, that's what Nas took a lot from too.
Definitely.
That multi-syllable rap flow kind of thing. I give Cool G.
I think Nas's first video was with Cool G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool
G's a G, man.
Cool G he took what Rakim did, because Rakim is like the originator of the smooth flow, right? Like rapping smooth, kind of like a saxophone kind of flow, right? So, Cool G rap took it to that gangster shit. Because Rakim wasn't gangster, he was just like God body.
Street.
You know what I mean? He was God body.
God body.
You can't touch him. He's God body. He's
Cool G straight.
He's just that nigga. He's the man.
Cool G was my guy.
Cool G is like, a street nigga, like gangster nigga. Like, so, yeah.
Cool G said,
A little rap history for you youngies.
cool. Man, like Coogee said, play the jacuzzi till my hands turn prune. I'm like, damn, dog, this nigga's so coming with the champagne
I've
and
done
even
I've almost
been on
fainted.
the run and he was
You
still.
ever been in a jacuzzi so long you almost fainted? Like
Not fainted, but
Like,
like,
but
you
like- and
fell
drunk
asleep
too,
or maybe.
like-
Yeah, and that almost feels like a motion.
yo, you
sickness.
could die like that. Enough people die like that, you know, because. One time I remember I was in LA, I was drunk in a jacuzzi and I was just like knocking.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it's easy to just slip into the abyss of the fucking thing and just drown.
So niggas woke you up? How do you make it out of that
No,
situation?
no. I woke myself up. I was just like,
you snapped out of it. You're saying, right?
by the time my lip hit the water, I'm like, "Whoop." Like, give me a liquor. So, you know, second wind, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotta get out this bitch. And I was high too. High too, like, you know.
So you know the name of the show is Sauce Have Mercy, right? Usually you got niggas coming on here trying to one too odd guest was trying sauce, but you know COVID and whatnot, right? But obviously we would do it the right way. But top 3 restaurants you could recommend to somebody, you know, over wherever that's not from Toronto, overseas, the Toronto restaurants. So your go-tos.
And any type of restaurant, like,
Could be
all right.
that you are notable for you, like over the years that have, you know, held it down.
if they want like a nice kind of restaurant, sit down restaurant when you're able to sit down again, go to Rivoli's on College. It's
Italian
a
joint?
nice Italian restaurant. I'll say this, like it was great before. I don't know. I think there's new owners now. It may not be as great now, but they still have. I know they have a newly renovated kind of like setup and shit. So when it is open, it's probably nice. It's probably the same kind of food. Rivoli's, yeah. Okay. So or not. No, Rivoli's is the club. What is it called?
Talking about Soto?
No. It's
The only thing I can think of is ravioli. You know, sauce in the past. The only thing I can think of is ravioli. That's all I'm thinking. Right?
It's on College and Beatrice.
Let me see something right here.
Yeah. I'd be high and shit. College and Beatrice.
Vivoli. I've seen people.
Sorry, guys. I got it off by
Vivoli.
one letter. But like, yeah. So Vivoli.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I had my birthday there a couple of times.
Well, that's what's up.
Just great food. If you want like some greasy shit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, give me another.
George's chicken.
Okay.
But like, there's a couple ones, but you got to go to the one on Dundas and Sherbourne. You have to go to the one where the crackheads
That's
are outside.
if you're on the go right now. You need
like,
that. Yeah.
If there ain't no crackheads outside of it, it's not perking. Like, yeah,
That's like a shawarma spot.
No.
George's.
Rotisserie chicken.
Wait, say that again. Where do you say it was again?
It's Sherbourne and Dundas area.
think I know
So it's
where
right
it is
on Dundas, in between Sherbourne and Jarvis, right down the street from Fillmore. It's the strip club.
Right, and there's a Sam's convenience close by or across the.
Yeah. It's right. Sam's is right at the corner. Of Sherbourne,
one more. We need one more right now.
So like, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of fiends around there.
Yeah.
And
we got Italian. We got your pass through.
And if we're going to shawarma, Alexander's. It's like right on like Queen and Dufferin area, but it's like if you're going more west on Queen, and then you'll see it to your left. It's like a falafel shawarma spot.
Right.
It's open till it used to be open till 4 a.m, but because of COVID shit, it's not open until just 12.
Yeah.
But they got great food over there, great shawarma.
What about for like island or West Indian type of food?
See, like with island food, it's like there's spots that are cool, but I have friends that have fucking aunts that fucking, and I know.
Yeah. You're getting that real raw.
I know friends that can cook, so you know, it's like if I'm gonna recommend a Jamaican restaurant, it's just kind of like I don't know. It doesn't mean it's the best, and I don't even feel like recommending it. But like I don't know. Like I've eaten at a couple ones. I don't really like a lot of ones downtown. Oh, Diners Corner.
My God.
Shouts
to Diners Corner. Sean Richards had to give out more fire.
Yeah,
shouts to Diners Corner.
I forgot about Diners Corner. Yeah,
Diners Corner is neat.
Diners Corner, like even back then, like when they had the old location.
Yeah.
Like my nigga, shout out to Soze. Soze brought me there for the first time, like way back when I was like fucking
on Gloucester,
19
right
or
on
some
Gloucester,
shit.
right?
Yeah, Gloucester,
right around a corner from Blue. I mean, their festival.
The stew chicken was.
I'm a pescatarian now, but the stew and I'm a pescatarian now, like I said. But when I used to,
me,
smooth off the bone, like just like literally, like you ever see them fat kids that was finger licking, like just. Like to the bone, like the wing is all you see is the bone. That was me at Diners Corner.
It was great. It was great. And like that's the thing. Like now, the food is still good. It's just like I feel like they're classy.
It's not right.
They're trying to be too classy.
I don't like the new location.
And it's like, and that's what happens when you're like. It's weird because they were kind of on Young Street, but they weren't. Right. Like when you're on the off street. Right. Yeah. It's just like a different vibe. Yeah. But when you're on Young,
now it's like we gotta be up to par with what's on Young,
right? Like you can't be like friggin'.
They're more bougie now.
What's down the street? There's another one. There's another Jamaican restaurant down the street. Right on the corner. Foods. Is a college over there? A college in Young. It's like right on the corner. Or is it Wellesley?
Ritz,
it's like
not
right
Ritz.
on the corner. It's Ritz. It's Ritz.
Still there?
Yeah.
Too commercial.
Yeah.
You want that real raw, like he said, you gotta go on the offshoots, you gotta go Eglinton West, you gotta go Vaughan and Oakwood, you gotta take it to the Estates.
Right, exactly.
You gotta go to Chris Jerk in Scarborough, man. Chris Jerk Caribbean Bistro,
you
man.
Gotta go on Eglinton.
Like you gotta go where the culture is. Speaking of culture.
Like or you gotta go like to fucking Oakwood or Eglinton late night and get that chicken. Get that chicken, that barbecue fucking drum chicken.
It's kinda sticky around the ways, but it's worth it.
And that sauce,
sauce. Jeez.
Whenever I hear a shootout happens at nighttime, I feel like it's about the sauce. Like the man didn't give him enough sauce. He's like, the man got too crazy because he didn't get enough sauce.
Yeah.
Let it off, you know?
Yeah, oxtail gravy for my thing. All right, trust me. So, speaking of which, what's your go-to sauce? I mean, because you could go, people could say Greek restaurant, tahini, every nigga's got a sauce that these niggas that are, like you said, they die for sweet and sour. They'll page the lady in the drive-thru.
Diana sauce.
You're a Diana sauce guy, eh?
I like Diana sauce, man.
Okay.
I like Diana sauce. Like I like a lot of sauces, but it depends. Like if we're talking about like when I'm in America, I love Chick-fil-A's Polynesian sauce.
Right.
The Polynesian. Oh man, when you have that with the fucking grilled nuggets.
Yeah. See, now I'm like a honey mustard nigga. I'm a honey mustard like lately, but it depends how you make the honey mustard.
Mustard's not even like a sauce. It's like a spread.
It's a dip, but then you said you gotta have it with you said the nuggets. So I was thinking, the nuggets and the dip. You're right. The dip and the sauce.
It is a sauce.
Right.
Actually, fuck, man. I feel like I might have to get a cheat meal.
You're Marv right now.
Nuggets. It is. But I won't. I'm not gonna do it.
Now to take it to culture. Now you're Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Jerk chicken or jollof rice?
Jollof rice.
This guy said, what kind of don't start here. For sure, jollof rice.
And that's the thing. It's like, because I just have jerk chicken all the time, too. Yeah. Like, it's just kind of just because I'm downtown. Like, if I want to get a good jollof rice, like, I know I should learn how to make it. I should. Right. But nothing's gonna be my mom, so why am I like trying to compete?
Right.
You know, I am trying to learn games, and my sister teaching me some game too, so I can fully, master the jollof myself. Right. And even just compete with these other countries, these other African countries that say they're jollof. I'm not even gonna name the country. I'm just gonna say these other
Nigeria.
You know what? Like, I'm not even gonna pounce on Nigeria because right now they're they're going through their turmoil right now. So praise to all the people that are trying to survive over there and shit like that. Fuck the police and the government over there. You know what I mean, on their bullshit. So I'm gonna let them slide. Their jollof is okay. Everybody else though, Cameroon, all you other countries that say you're
Take a step down.
like, get out of here, bro. Somebody from Congo.
So it's like basically being from Trinidad and saying you're making like jerk chicken or being from Jamaica and saying you're going to make a roti and doubles, but you can't do it like how the Trinis do it. Basically. And I feel like, there is one country that's the best at it. I feel Ghana is the best at it, but not every country feels that way. Speaking of doubles and rotis, yo, shout to Trey's granny on the tamarind sauce. Granny, I see you. If you're watching this, you know what I mean, the tamarind sauce. You gotta, like I said, you gotta have the right sauce with whatever you're going into. Like I gotta have my tamarind sauce if I'm having doubles or roti. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm sure even with jollof rice, there's a particular like you maybe can't put Diana sauce on that, or I don't know if you're a man that would.
Well, no, I'm not putting that.
You know what I mean? You can. There's certain things that you just can't do.
When I was broke, I used to put ketchup on rice, on white rice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That was a flex back then.
Or like a bully beef.
Bully beef will go on too. But like with sauce on the rice, not necessarily, because the rice is in itself like cooked in a stew, right? Yeah. So it's already has the flavor and the sauce kind of locked in, especially when it's fresh. Yeah. It's kind of like it might be a little bit kind of saucy in a way, like, but like still it's kind of dry. And then if you have it with like, fish, or you have it with, you could have chicken with it. You could have like a meat side. You have to, we eat meat. We're African. We eat meat. So, you're going to have a meat side with it. And then it might have like a sauce on that. Like we have this sauce called, it's more like a pepper sauce called shita, which is like ground up fish. I forget what kind of fish. What's the name of the fish? I forget the name of the fish, but it's ground up fish. Maybe it's sardines. Ground up sardines, red pepper,
you guys
black
cook with
pepper.
spice.
It's like a whole bunch of shit, cooked up, and then it's like it's hot, but
Right.
It's one of those things where I used to eat all that hot shit when I was younger, but I didn't book like I'd take shits and my ass would hurt, and I didn't book like it was
Your
the
ass
food.
was grass. His ass
I
was
didn't
on
book
fire.
that it was the food the whole time. I'm just like, why my ass hurt? Like I just
was one of those ones that served you right.
I just got used to like shitting in pain. You know what I mean? Just because that's African food hot, bro. Like we eat our food hot.
And you done ate too much. You were like me when the fat kid seen too much cake. When the parents say your eyes are bigger than your stomach. Yeah. You're biting too much more than what you could chew. I remember one of my Ghanaian, one of my good homies, shouts to Prince Ankara. He back in the day, this guy gave me a certain pepper, and he was like, because the man's knew I was a craven youth, and they're like, yo, just trust me. And it just came in like it was just a regular like a regular bell pepper, but it was a certain country type, like how Jamaicans have Scotch bonnet. Bro, even just thinking of that, I don't know if you guys can tell right now, I'm even just thinking of it is like, bro, drenching. I was drenching. Yeah. And I was like, and I don't know if they used to use it in fufu, but it was like a certain type of pepper you guys would use.
Maybe some like a lot of
it was the pepper that made the sauce that you know what I mean? Like
over here, I feel like we use Scotch bonnet a lot in terms of like peppers for our soups and stuff like that. Just because it's like the Ghanaian market and Jamaican market, sometimes they're
similar.
Have like, they're very similar.
You go to the West, you go to Finch, you see this is.
Yeah, they have our African Jamaican grocers sometimes in certain hoods. So
right,
I think growing up, my mom usually used Scotch bonnet or like those little white packages with the white plate on it with the fucking red, green, and fucking yellow pepper on it. You know what I mean? Just
one thing that I was like before leaving, I meant to ask you. I should have asked you earlier too. What inspired the House Arrest mixtape?
Yes, House Arrest was my first.
Probably being on House Arrest.
My first rap mixtape. Yeah, I was on House Arrest for Break and Enter, and actually not Break and Enter, but like breach of. Recognizance. So I was on bail and I breached my bail terms and stuff like that. Yeah. And I went in
turn a negative to a positive.
I went in for like just a week and then came out and then decided to do House Arrest.
Made a mixtape on House Arrest.
Yeah.
While you were in House Arrest. That's what's up. Was that your first mixtape?
Actually, it was even shorter than a week. What am I talking about? It was even shorter than a week. Because, yeah, it was. I got to see jail for a couple of days. I was like, yo, I don't want to be here.
Around bare niggas.
Right? Like, and I wouldn't say I was, like, necessarily, I think I was still, like, part of, like, a group at that time called Rotten Ones. And I remember I was inside and my cellie was kind of like, yo, what do you do? And I told him I rap. And he was like, you know, I rap for him. He was like this old nigga, probably in there for domestic or something like that. And he was just like, yo, you shouldn't be here, bro. Like, I've been here, like, fucking in and out for how many years? Like, you know, this is not a place for you to be. Like, you're talented, da. That was enough for me. Like, I wasn't, it's weird. Like, I wasn't really, I felt cool in there because I was like, I knew some niggas in there, so it's weird. Like, you just, you know, like a couple people from my block were just, they had connections in there and know some people, but like, you know, it's like I'm not a criminal. Like I'm not like a crime all the time, nigga. Like I feel like I have certain things I could put my energy into that are like positive for the world. Like it's not just always about me. Like so. You know, I focused on music from that point on and then made House Arrest. I was just committed. Like, I was just like, yo, I'm going to do a mixtape. Right. And then, you know, while I was on there, I just ran to my homie Charlie P. Went to his house, recorded some of it there.
Charlie P?
Yeah.
Not Charlie B.
No, Charlie B.
Not Rich Kid, the DJ that we hear on floor. Real Rich Kid right now. Get it confused.
Right. Yeah. You know, went to my homie Junior T to
Junior
record
T. Shout out to
some
Junior
of it.
T, man.
Yeah.
And, me and Trey was just talking about him. Very, very good.
And
staple in the
just
city.
Did it with and had some features from some of my homies from a group I had called Rotten Ones, and it was my first mixtape. I put it in different like barbershops and clothing stores because that was the hustle back then. You made CDs, you burned CDs, and you went to like different barbershops and shit. You just put them in there and say like, yo, I sell these for like $10 and I'll give you $5 or whatever from it, and to be like, yeah, and like that's how you know sell your shit, and you know I'd be making some money from the stores and shit. One time in Saga, the Peel Police came in and confiscated. They went to different locations and confiscated my my mixtape.
No deal, Peel, man. Them boys don't play.
Because them times I was, you know, catching charges, and I don't know, they were all around. I think a charge that time called gangsterism was just invented.
Right.
They was just
this guy
moving
was a
on.
real ghetto youth, you know. He was
Like they were just moving on some weird shit, you know. But like, you know,
like you from Peel, if you know, no.
They
deal
move
Peel.
OD. It's like you're
deal
not.
Peel.
I'm not even that guy, and they move like I'm Pablo.
I remember back in
they
the day,
were
niggas
moving like I was Pablo Escobar.
I remember niggas getting biked with like that, like not even that, with like a Deagle or a Tony Sack. No deal Peel. There's not a joke thing on there.
No deal Peel,
know what I mean?
man.
Crazy. So you lived in Saga for most of the time? You ever lived in Toronto too?
Yeah.
You live in Toronto too?
Yeah. But I was born here. Born in Scarborough General.
Right.
Lived in Markham and Ellesmere as a youth, and then moved to Saga probably in like just my elementary years, and then.
But would you say it's a big difference?
And then moved back to Toronto, and like, you know, after I like finished high school and shit.
Yeah, because now if you go downtown Saga, you're on Lakeshore, a lot similar. But back then, obviously, there was more of a bigger difference. It felt more like, I mean, before we became the GTA, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, everything was different, you know, but it wasn't at the same time. Like, you know, it's like everything was in the same vicinity. I think. Right. I think things developed more quicker when all the regions became part of the city. Like everything was kind of separate before, and was its own town. Right. You know, like the amalgamation happened in '98, and that's when all the municipalities came together. Yeah. Toronto. So I think
I was gonna call them
that's
boroughs,
what
but I don't want to do
increased, you know, traffic and fucking, you know, transit, fucking development, you know, housing, all that shit started booming and sprawling when Toronto was more connected and bigger, right? Because now it's making more money. It has a bigger population, a bigger economy.
Yes.
Right. And now just having the GTA now, so having Saga and having fucking York, York region, Peel, York region, Durham region, all those they even have a next kind of region. They now include Hamilton and fucking Niagara and shit.
Halton
So,
now, yeah.
right. And Halton and
Halton
all
will be
that.
Burlington, Oakville, Hamilton.
So now all these kind of regions is like, they're all moving in some kind of way together because they're connected through some kind of transit or some connection.
They're trying to build their identity more.
So the growth of it is blessed. It's
beautiful.
It's good that it's happening like that, because now, like a guy like, what's his name, Murder Beats from Fort Erie. You know what I mean? It's he doesn't feel like he's too far away from Toronto to come grind out here and find his manager and start working and you know what I mean, get his beats out.
And like I said before, they used to say, "Oh, Tory, Brampton," you know what I mean? But now it's like, you have people close like you and Party and people that are literally like, you know what I mean?
Well, like that's the thing.
He's you know what I mean? Peel, dude, like
it's
why?
I think if you're not afraid of where you come from, no one can tell you anything. Right? Like if you don't hide where you come from and you speak about it proudly, what can they tell you? They can tell you, "Oh, you're not from here." Yes, that's what I said. I'm from here, not from there. It's like, so if you're not from here, I don't want to listen to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're not hard if you're not from here. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Bye.
Like, it's like we still talking about, like, you have to be from one place. Like, no, nobody cares about that shit no more. It's like, it's really about what your life is, where your story is. Is it real? Right. Some people don't care about that, obviously, but, does it feel real?
Right.
Like, to me or to whoever's listening, right? That's what we care about. So, whether you're from the outskirts or you're from the inner city, or you're even from, a rich neighborhood within the city, right? Because there's a lot of rappers that are, within the city coming from nice housing. That's the biggest rapper of all, one of the biggest rappers of all time is from the nicest part of the city, but in the city, right? So, like to me, it just never really matters. It just matters about how you're dropping,
it's
where you're at mentally,
right?
Fuck it.
Yeah.
One of my
OGs always used to tell me that.
Not even geography, like mentally.
Right. This is not from me. This is from a mutual friend. You figure out at some point. He said, "Have you ever got head from a deaf girl?" You probably know who that's from. From one of our homies. But he knows who it is too. I ain't gonna name drop. I ain't gonna name drop. He was on the show before.
Yeah, she was half deaf.
I'm sorry. And if we gotta edit this out, it's all right. But we rolling, we shooting this shit, we having a good time. But she was
no, you can.
Where did that come from, fam?
No, she was a half deaf girl.
Like calling this nigga right now. Oh, yeah.
She was a half deaf girl.
This is in the ridge. This is these times.
And we went to high school and. Yeah, she was a half.
Not to laugh at her at all, but I mean,
she was a half deaf girl, and she wanted to give me the wassels. I was like,
and you're like, "Yo, I'm just like you're showing love. I'm not discriminating you." Like,
she was nice. She had a little body on her.
Okay. She was one of them ones.
It's like, cool, man.
So it goes.
Man
said to ask you if you still draw, and then I just saw that he goes, "Yo, you're doing the interview? Ask this guy."
What's the next question you got?
It was the head with the deaf girl, and I just got right to that.
Okay.
Yeah. But you was the artist? Like Oskino, you was good with your hands. I mean, you was drawing.
Like when I was a kid, like I started drawing them like anime characters and shit like that. For real. Dragon Ball Z and fucking, all those kind of anime stuff. And
Dara,
and then I started getting into like sketching and really like drawing real faces.
So this is before rap.
Yeah, like this when I was like a kid, and when I started music, like I was doing a lot of my own graphic designing and drawing for my own like project covers and stuff like that, and other people's shit. So
Well, that's what's up.
But I gave that up because
Yo, for the whole battle of beatmaker situation now, I mean, like with the ongoing unprecedented times, when I was even thinking the other day, I was like, we could if they had a Zoom battles or something. Like, what's going on? Even King of the Dot, like we're missing out right now, man.
Well, yeah, I don't
Those guys are on pay-per-view.
know. Like I don't really have anything to do with those ones,
Right.
those guys. But I don't know.
You just used to show up to the man.
Yeah, I just used to go.
Yeah.
I don't know what they plan to do. I don't know how they plan to make their events. Like with King of the Dot, that's kind of how they already did their events, though. It's kind of like most people just watch it, right? So
Right.
and yeah, so they're pretty good. Like they can continue doing what they do.
Right.
In terms of Battle of the Beat Makers, you can still make it what it is to make. Can you make people pay to watch it? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if people want to pay just to watch it, but there may be a way.
I mean, like how we had, like with verses, you know what I mean? How we, but that's different, obviously.
Yeah, like versus is like it's sponsorship, right? So sponsorship is what drives verses,
Right.
or funds verses,
Right.
right? What's funding this,
Right. Like how you were saying earlier with Manifesto and the sponsorship, right?
right? Like where you getting who's giving you paper,
Yeah.
right? Because that's what's needed to have the bodies that's going to have things running, right? Like not everybody working for free, man. Not everybody could do that shit.
Right. But now with that said, with touring and concerts being at a halt right now, what advice or where would you say, like for a lot of like new artists, like where's the income source now in the industry? Would you say, I mean, there's a lot you could do within yourself, like social media, but like where can you see, people making an income for themselves?
Well, there's not a lot, but it's the same, I guess, income that comes from the royalties of your music is still there.
Right.
Streaming money. You may have to like start delving into monetizing YouTube shit.
Right. I was just gonna say that literally.
And kind of like, create your own content where people can watch and it can feed back into your music to increase your streams.
Right.
Some people are doing, online performances where they are paying artists to do performances. I've already worked with some organizations that put on some artists and paid artists to perform just on IG Live.
Yeah.
So I guess look out for those ones. So there's I think there's still social distancing shows. I don't know if they're still in Canada, but I know Division did a couple nights where it's a drive-in.
Shouts to Ricky again. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a drive-in. Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going on in the UK actually.
You went?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I just, it was dope that they did that.
Yeah. So
to think like, you know what I mean? Like that's something that nobody's really been doing anything like that. They're probably the first people in the city that did that.
Right now, it's like it's going to be hard because it's cold outside. Like it was cool to do that then because it was summertime, right? Like it's easier to do it. So we'll see what you can do inside in the next few months. Like they say, a second wave is more intense than the first. So hopefully, it's not that, but we'll see. But yeah, those ways are the ways you can make money, and then also sync, right? Syncing your music with movies, television, film, all that kind of shit, commercials. Yeah. So if you can, I think there's certain things that are still in production, certain things getting back to production, but there was a moment in time where there was nothing coming out because nobody can be in the same space.
Right.
Nobody was allowed to work. So, I think certain productions are getting back to running, so then you can land some music on a TV show or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Right, so
it's gotta use our resources, man. That's what it is, man. Even like SoCan, I've been here. He's giving out some funding. There's a lot of different, avenues you could go to if you're a producer or artist. That you know what I mean.
The crazy
it was a royalty thing in terms of somebody was mentioning to me earlier where it's kind of like somewhat of an advanced. and then what they would give you on the, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 months, like that residual, they take it out of that basically.
We're talking about SoCal?
Yeah, with this particular funding, right? So I mean, that's, I just thought about that, like to answer my own question in terms of the income, right?
They
Oh, and we forgot streaming. How could we forget?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't control that, but I mean,
I didn't want to say this. I remember the SoCan thing. I didn't want to say that because I feel like, they take it from somewhere anyways. Like they take it from what you make through your future royalties.
Yeah.
So, but there's a whole bunch of ways, and maybe even seek an investor that believes in you. There is money right there, but that might be more of a loan. You might have to pay that back. So there's different ways you can make money. It's a little bit harder because you can't, see and touch people the way you want to. And that was a big way of connecting. Artists connecting, especially independent artists. Mm-hmm. The bigger artists already got their fans, so it's easy.
Mm-hmm. And now I see even with producers a lot too, there's a lot of packs, they're putting out these little, that's another thing. I feel like for producers, there's a lot they could do too, right?
Yeah.
You gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere.
Some of them are selling their packs. Some of them are giving them out for free, making their loops.
Right. YouTube type beats and
it's just do what you do, however you want to get exposed, right? It's in every type of way. It's worked for somebody, right? So just keep on working. Trying to find a new, unique way to try to make it work for you.
Right. Lastly, any last tips you could give to artists on how to navigate through COVID? I mean, just like I said, besides like we said, you said it to set the tone. It's not always about the money, but I mean, just overall message for the youth. I mean, I don't want to get into so much of the Black Lives stuff and whatnot, but I mean, just just to sustain during these times. What would be Rich's message? Like, what's that? The last message you can give out?
I don't know, not to be cliche, but stay true to yourself. Right? Like just understand who you are and what you want to do. You create your purpose. I do believe certain things are destined, but to see what you want out of life, you have to have some kind of purpose. You have to have some kind of motivation in life. And that all depends on where you want to navigate. You have to get up. What does the song say? You got to get up, get out and do something, right? Like you just got to get up, get out,
and do something.
I
don't
something.
know why, but I was thinking, get up, stand up, fighting for your rights.
You can do that too.
Don't give up the fight.
That's definitely some Black Lives Matter shit.
Yeah, you gotta have a purpose. You literally have to.
Just create. And if you don't know what your purpose is, just take a leap of faith and try something. Right? You never know where you're gonna go, and keep trying shit. Don't stop, because why? Why would you stop? Life don't stop.
Right.
And I think a lot of people feel like, I'm gonna die soon anyway. So But then you get to that point, you're like, fuck, I'm still living and I didn't do anything for myself. And then you keep on living, and then you're like, wow, I'm so behind. Like, people feel that, I felt that at times, like, there's certain things I needed to do. So I had to step back, go get my life right, go get certain things in order, get my credit straight, get make sure my daughter good, make sure, I have a good backing in terms of, like a good resume of different things I can do. So in the future, whatever I want to do, I have that resume to get some kind of funding or get some kind of money to build something bigger, and then, invest in it and grow it myself.
And layer the foundation. Yeah.
So, it's something where, I had to discover, like, I can only acquire this by just being me and being true to myself and understanding who I am. I'm not going to play no role and pretend I'm this or that. Like, I never wanted my music to say that. I never wanted me as a brand to say that. I'm always that cool nigga that, I'm always down to scrap. I'm always down to fight for my niggas. I'm always,
throwing hands anytime.
It's always about, keeping the positive vibes and creating a sound that everybody can rock to and vibe to. So, that's how I do it. I stay true to myself. So that's my advice.
Yeah, My guy. Episode 20, you already know, man. You know what it'd be like.
Sauce.
Appreciate you, man. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna see you on Friday.
We'll see you on Friday, man. Put in that work, and I'm gonna be sweating. My sweat gonna be dripping in sauce. Give me that left, right jab, man. Shouts to Osh. I see you, man. I know about this deaf girl question you asked me, put me on the spot, but
no. But like I said, man, she was half deaf. She had a nice body, but I didn't pan it. I just wanted the wazzles, and it was cool. It was actually my first.
One in the neck.
It was actually my first wazzles ever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably why.
I got it, but like behind the movie theater. It was lit.
Imagine if you seen her up to this day. You think she remember you?
Melissa, that was her name.
This guy remembers the name too.
Yeah, bro. You don't forget your.
Yeah, you don't forget those ones. Yeah,
it's her first brains.
Yeah, actually, mine was.
And
Tamara.
I feel like because she's deaf. And she can't, when how deaf girls talk, I feel like that makes the wassels even better. like real talk,
what did you do here?
Like real talk, like I never had like a old like fucking woman, but like if I could take out her dentures and give me the.
I can't. Yeah, saying you're a MILF man. You're a MILF man. To some degree.
Can't say I'm not.
Yeah. Again, I'm like a foreign shorty guy. I have a knack for there's some Spanish women in their mid okay, I give 40 the max. We'll give it the max. I don't know if past 40's pushing it. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That foreign sauce.
I don't know, man.
Sauce got
some of them. That's what I'm saying. Like
it's in the water.
Like a Angela Bassett come true. Like
hey.
She's touching 50. You might have to break that rule.
No, there's a lot of them that are gonna eat. Nia Long is okay. She's not 50, but I mean, there's a lot of these.
I give Nia the long.
Give Nia the long way. Give Nia the long way for real, man. Trust me, man. Shouts out to a beautiful woman. You know what I mean? You definitely you ain't a married man. Right?
Me? No, I'm not.
Okay. Because I'm about to be saying you can't be talking like this on
Nah, but it's Nia Long, bro. Like I'm not going to fucking Nia Long. Women do that all the time where it's like, this man is cute.
You can't say you're not going to.
I'd hate, women talk about like celebrity all the time because they ain't gonna fuck them.
That's one thing I didn't ask him though.
Unless you're a celebrity, then you gotta be worried. If you're like Drake, you gotta be worried about your bitches like, you know what I mean, going fucking next name.
Well, who's your celebrity crush though, Rich?
Or maybe not. I don't know because you're Drake. My celebrity crush. I don't really have one. I don't know. Nia Long. Fuck it.
Nia Long. That was the long way, man. That's how we ended it. Nia Long, man.
The long way.
All right. We out. Jeez.